Do that.
All right, we are on the air.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Geekvice, a podcast by a few geeks, fewer today, now trying to be heard in a world now flooded with geeks. Today, it's only a dynamic duo. Our beloved Kip is not able to join us today due to the man cramping his style and making him work more than he should be. But with me is the bartender for the zombie apocalypse, if I could say it, Mister Mister Morph.
I
How are you
am
doing tonight?
here. I am doing good. And unfortunately, I am not drinking a beer because I've already had four tonight. So,
Ooh,
yeah, when you go out to those company functions after work and you get free beer, you tend to drink a little bit more. So,
yeah. I hope the kid doesn't get to listen to this because I would just add salt to the wound that having to wake up at or get to work at 4 o'clock in the morning to work late, and you're
yeah,
going to company functions where you get to drink 4 beers.
yeah, exactly. That's not going to make him happy. But what are
Well,
you going to do?
yeah. What are you gonna do? Well, this is the voice behind the hosting today. This is John Guzman, aka Loktar, and my claim to fame in the geek world is still being the guild leader of Reloaded Whisperwind US. That actually this last week had a pretty successful week. We kind of finished the expansion with kind of a bang. We had already killed the last boss in this expansion before with like our main group of people, but we've had a handful of new people join us, and they were asking to go and kill the new boss again. So we went and we got it done. We got it done with them. So they're gonna get their rewards, which is a mount that is
Nice.
gonna be rare, and people are not gonna be able to get it next month. So I think next month is when the patch before the expansion comes out. So that's kind of cool. That some of the new people got an opportunity to do that, and pull them through that. And the other thing that we did is for the raid, you can actually get achievements, which give you a mount, and we actually completed those last week as well. So everybody got mounts. And
Nice.
if we had a little soundboard, this is where we'll put the clapping.
Yeah. I can do it this way.
There
That's
you go.
about it.
Yeah, low tech soundboard.
And Kip might know how to put something fancy in here because he had some sounds at one point, but
I
I
know
don't.
he like figures stuff out, and makes it all high production, and then he leaves. That's just not cool.
Yeah, and then he misses a night, and we try to cover for him, which is why it's taken us so long to just get this thing started and whatever.
Yeah, but nobody knows that we started late, right? Especially the
Well,
people that
except
that
now that I told them we started late, so
yeah, way to bust us.
I'm a terrible producer. I'm even worse than the worst producer in the world.
I know. Yeah, well, blame it on Morph.
Yeah,
So
that's what everyone
Morphful.
else does.
Hey, I when I signed up for this podcasting, I say I will not produce this thing ever.
Yeah, it's a little harder than I thought it was. So
It is. It's work, and I do this for fun, not for work.
yeah, and we'll see if this actually ends up turning out. It says it's recording, but I never know. I don't know what I'm doing, so
I
we could get
know.
done with all
Could be
this thing,
wasting our
and there
time
could be
right now.
nothing there. Yeah.
I know we could be wasting our time, and if nobody's listening live, we're just wasting time. Maybe
Well,
we'll get like that random person that always wanders in from like another country saying like, "Hey, say hello."
yeah. And I do see now. Kip always talked about he could see how many viewers are on there. I can see that now as the producer. I can see viewers, so I'll I'll try to keep an eye on that, see if that goes up anywhere.
Oh, sweet, excellent. So we have actually some really cool topics for today. I did not have a topic, which is awesome, but Mr. Kip did have a topic, and I can totally steal his topic. So I'm probably gonna do that.
Do it. Do it.
I'm doing it. And you actually have some things that I want to talk about. So I think it'll be fun. I think we have plenty to talk about and make it fun and kind of make it somewhat relevant. So the topic for today was The Maze Runner, which is actually a book series. There's actually 3 books in the series. I learned about this book series actually from my woman. because she had read them, and she had actually told she told me that it was really good. And most of the time I stay away from reading reviews before I go watch a movie, but I actually read a couple just in case. I didn't want to waste our money or our time on the movie. And one of the things that I read is that the movie was very story driven, which is a good thing, when you have a movie made from a book. And even though it was not like, a direct translation, it wasn't every single detail that was in the book that made it into the movie. She said that it was pretty close. It was close enough that definitely made it a good movie. And I'm gonna try to keep this as spoiler free as possible. But the premise is that basically some kids are dropped in the middle of this. It's almost like a prison, but it's actually a maze that changes every night, and there are these things that are hunting them. And it's a very interesting premise because it's almost like none of them can remember why they're there and how they got there. So that adds an element to the story that is actually pretty cool, because it's almost like they're building the story piece by piece. So it has a lot of little elements that have been in other stories and other books and other movies and stuff like that. But just the way that it is done, it's pretty cool. Other movies and other entertainment give you too much from the beginning. They kind of give you everything from the beginning, and you kind of don't get a chance to kind of guess or try to figure it out. And I think that this gives you little doses of things, like, is this another planet? Is this futuristic? Is this the past? Is this about technology? Is this not about technology? Is the technology, more advanced than what we have? Is it more rudimentary? Is it an alternate universe? Is it our universe? There's a lot of questions that you start asking yourself as you're watching the movie, and I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the movie. I really enjoyed kind of like trying to play the mind games to see what was going on, and at least from what she told me of the rest of the series, it builds upon that. Even though you do get a payoff at the end of this movie, which is the first one in the series, there's going to be continued storylines that are going to meet and kind of twist around and take different sides that you kind of don't expect. So really cool movie. It was a summer blockbuster. The all the action and the CGI really worked. It didn't look fake, even though it was very massive, and it did give you that feel of massive concrete walls. It did not lose that. Almost that feeling of claustrophobia that we're trying to go for really worked.
That's good. Yeah, I'm looking at. Just kind of. I'd never even heard of this thing. I didn't even realize it was coming out. So when Kip put this on the show notes, I had to do some looking and didn't realize it was a book or anything like that. But the director Wes Ball, this is his first. This is his directorial debut. He
Dude,
doesn't
I
have
want to
any.
see more stuff from this dude. He
He's
was
got
really
he's
good.
got three more stuff in pre-production. So it looks like he's got some movies coming up. He's also never really written anything except for these movies that are coming up. So that it kind of looks like a small budget type thing. Although
Hmm.
the lead actor Dylan O'Brien has been in Teen Wolf
Oh,
for the last 3 years. So I have not watched Teen Wolf, but he's got 61 episodes under his belt with Teen Wolf. So I'm sure those people who watch Teen Wolf will be dying to go see this movie to see him in it.
it makes sense because he definitely knew how to work with teenagers, and or young actors. They're probably not teenagers. They probably look like teenagers, but they're like
Oh.
30.
Well, he Dylan O'Brien here was born in 1991, so he's not exactly an old actor.
No, I thought you were talking about the director.
No, the lead.
The lead. No, the lead is pretty good. He is not. I have not really seen him in Teen Wolf, so I don't know how good he is in
Yeah.
that or not. But on this, he definitely carries the movie. He's definitely uh, for all the pressure that is on him from the movie. you would think that it would kind of be like whatever, a kid could never do that, but that there's a lot of details that they're not going to reveal in the first movie, but that will build upon to the other movies, and I think he's definitely doing a good job at kind of not revealing too much in this movie, but definitely I could see him playing those more developed acting things that he's going to have to put on.
Yeah.
So I look forward to having more of this.
Sounds good to me. I'm gonna have to check this one out. This it's at least got an interesting premise to it. So I'm gonna have to check it out. I have
Hold
nothing
on,
else to say on that.
before you say anything else, have you watched Guardians of the Galaxy?
No, I have not.
Oh, the humanity.
No, I have not. I last week we talked about Kip and I talked about Captain America 2 because I finally saw that one.
Well, you're only like a year late.
It's not a year. It just came out on DVD.
Right, which means it's been a year since it's been on the theaters.
Whatever. Well, apparently they've already got a release date of 2015 for the sequel. So,
did you like it? Because I haven't listened to the full podcast from last week.
oh, from last week, yes, I thought Captain America 2 was awesome. Like I thought it was really good. So we kind of talked a little bit about what I'm curious with, as well as this movie was. Is there going to be a third one? That's one of the movies that you would think they would be out in front of, but they haven't said whether or not there's actually going to be a third Captain America movie. And since Chris Evans has come out,
didn't you just say 2015?
no, that was Maze Runner. Maze Runner has it.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
they've got a sequel out set for 2015, so they're already planning. The movie must have. Either they didn't care what the movie did, or they went ahead and set the date for it. That's pretty impressive for something that just opened up, and for something that I never heard of, and I never saw a trailer for this thing.
Yeah, they didn't pump a lot of advertisement for this movie, which is interesting. I think we saw it in the theater, the actual preview for it, and that's when I found out that it actually was a book, and my woman had actually read the whole series, so I definitely have I can definitely get the details of a movie and not let it ruin it for me.
Yeah.
So it was good. It was good to have a conversation of how they executed some of the things in it.
Rotten Tomatoes has it at 63%, so I mean that's pretty good on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, especially for something that is later summer and is a teen cast.
Yeah, well, and it's it's kind of fitting into that Hunger Games or some what's the other one, Twilight, or that teen heartthrob type type movie. Young adult, that's what I was looking for, the young adult books.
Yeah.
So no, sounds good. We'll give it a shot. I'll put it on my list.
Excellent. I am glad. So now I get to listen to your stuff and tell you why you're wrong.
All right. Well, I got a lot of things on here. A lot of them are just pretty short, and but one of the TV shows that I really like is called Legend of Korra. I've talked about it on here before.
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing the whole thing eventually someday.
Yeah,
because I'm a huge Airbender fan.
Yeah, the season 3 is finished up, but they went about halfway through season 3. Well, they went 8 out of 13 episodes, and they showed them every week on Nickelodeon. And then, for some strange reason, Nickelodeon just said, we're not going to show the rest of them on TV. We're taking them off the air, but we're going to release them every week on their website. So you could watch them live. You could, or not live, but you could watch them through their website. But they weren't going to release them to iTunes or Hulu or Amazon or anything like that. You had to go through Nickelodeon's website. Well, I tried to go through their website and find these episodes, but they weren't numbered. They had names to them, but I didn't know which names were the right ones because I don't. That's one thing I don't remember when I watch TV shows, especially short animated TV shows. I do not remember the title of the episode. Um, I just know if it's 1 or 2 or 3.
Hmm.
So I know that I've watched this many episodes. Well, if they don't put numbers to them, then I don't know which one I'm supposed to watch. So I ended up not watching them each week when they came out because I couldn't find them easily. And so I just kind of moved on. And then I heard that season 4 is going to come out this October, and it's going to be back on TV now. So I don't know what Nickelodeon's doing. I thought maybe they were taking a giant leap and saying screw you to the cable companies and saying, you know what, we can put this amazing content out on our website, create more traffic on our website, and show advertisers how much they could, actually get by advertising through this TV show that's only online. That would have been a huge leap forward, and it could have changed the way cable shows are done. That could have started that trend that I keep waiting to happen. And Nickelodeon backed off of it and put it back on TV for season 4. And it's a great TV show, and I have figured out which episodes I need to watch, and last night I watched. I've only got 2 episodes left before I finish season 3, and it is very good. It's written really well. I like how it's written. It's definitely not your little kid TV show. I mean, it's kind of hard to explain. It has some adult themes to it that I think that allows adults to watch it, but still keeps it accessible enough for your early teenagers, maybe 10 to 12 years old, to be able to jump in and watch this watch this TV show and really get a lot out of it. I think if you get too much younger than that, they're not really going to get. They might enjoy the special effects and the animation, because it's definitely really that's really good, but they're not going to understand the story to it if you get too much younger than that. But I recommend everyone to check out season 4. Check out season 3 on Nickelodeon.com or acquire it in your usual ways. And then check out season 4 that I think it starts in October.
Good.
So,
That would definitely be something good. I might wait until it all gets on Netflix so I can just binge watch all of them at the same time.
you know what?
I don't like waiting.
That's not a bad way to do it. And really, when I set the recorder here, my DVR for them, I will usually wait till there's 3 or 4 of them and then watch 2 hours worth of them at one time, because a lot of the times these writers do a really good job of just leaving that episode, just dropping it at just the right point where you go, oh man, I really kind of I just need one more episode, and they keep you coming back that way. So I can agree with wait until you can binge watch all of them.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna wait. I would enjoy it a lot more that way. I think I remember when I watched all the Airbender ones. I think I watched all of them probably in about a month.
Yeah.
Like from beginning to end, I watched all of them.
Oh yeah, and that's how I watched them too. I didn't watch any of them live because I didn't know about it really. I heard about it on a podcast. Somebody talked about how good it was, and so I looked it up on Netflix, and boom, there they were, and I'm like, yes, this is awesome. So yeah,
Excellent. No, totally agree that that's something people should check out. So I endorse it as well.
Uh, so there you go, people. Go watch Legends of Korra. The next topic I've got here is there's a Tokyo Game Show is going on right now, um, or or it's kind of like a Comic-Con type thing for games in Tokyo, hence the name. And there was and I wish I could remember the name of the phone, but there was a phone that was shown on the game floor that was able to play PlayStation 4 games as the screen. So you basically use the PlayStation Go or I think it's called PlayStation Go, the joint play that allows you to take these things on different platforms.
Yeah, it's a Sony Xperia.
Yeah, that's what it was. Xperia 3, I believe.
Z3.
Z3, there you go. That this guy was basically using a regular PlayStation 4 controller and playing knack and using the phone as the screen. So he said the graphics were actually really good. There didn't seem to be any lag from the controller to the phone. He said it was a little harder to see because it's just, you're talking about a phone, screen. So it's a lot smaller screen. And he was playing knack, which apparently he really sucks at, because in the video you get to watch him die 3 or 4 times.
Are you judging somebody on their game playing ability?
No, I just thought it was funny because it looks like knack has always looked like a very, very simplistic, arcade game. But it was kind of funny because
I almost want to have you over to see how much you suck at it yourself.
Oh, I'm probably terrible at it, but I was also terrible at Mario Brothers. No, I'm not judging. I think it was great. It was good because a lot of the times in these reviews, you get somebody in there and you watch them play, and you're like, man, these guys are these guys are amazing. They're incredible at this thing. It was kind of nice to see this guy who's a professional, there's my air quotes, professional reviewer, and he was terrible at the game. He even called himself out on it. So it was good to see. It makes me feel like they're human.
I'm glad that that's what brings people to humanity for you.
Yeah, but I just think that this is kind of I put this in there because I think this is cool. I think the idea, just the processing power of these phones is getting ridiculous, and in a good way. And I think it's, well, I guess I don't know. Is that saying good things about the phone or bad things about our, here's my air quotes again, next generation consoles, that a phone can handle the video, handle the graphics for a next generation console. I mean, a next generation game.
But is it streaming the content from your PS4? So is the PS4 doing the processing, and the only thing that they're doing is just compressing video and sending it back, or they didn't say anything about that?
Yeah, I don't know because I also don't understand how that PlayStation, the PlayStation Go thing works, where it takes it to your Vita and you can walk. Because my understanding, or what I always thought, was that it basically just moves the whole game over there, and as long as it's streaming and you have an internet connection, you could turn your PlayStation 4 off, and the Vita would be able to handle it all. But
I don't know.
I don't know how that all works, and that wasn't actually brought up. So maybe that is what it is. Maybe it's just a video. It's just like your TV running it.
Because I was listening to something about technology recently, and I think it was a podcast, and they were talking about that. The next gen thing that people are working for mobile is the capability of basically having your internet connection be smart enough that if you're approaching like a subway that goes underground or something like that, and you're gonna be without that the service that is giving you the content is smart enough to buffer for a longer period of time and give you priority so that you can build up enough so that you don't lose your movie or your TV show that you're watching while you go underground, and then when you come out the other side or whatever, then you can pick it up and it was all. So basically, you're not losing connection. So just
Right.
sending you all those packages before, which is, obviously they're playing with a lot of different ways of, transmitting that information. So I'll be curious to see actually the nuts and bolts of how the phone and maybe even the PS Vita. The PS Vita, it makes more sense that it will be able to process the game
Yeah.
in in a smaller fashion or whatever. But the
Right.
phone, I don't know if it has, at least from my understanding of the technology, I don't think it has that powerful of a graphics engine person. I don't know. I would really
Yeah,
have to see it.
and that's but the fact that it's going that direction. I mean, if it is just the if it is just a video from the PS4, can that handle it? Could I throw my well, I don't have a PlayStation 4, but let's just hypothetically say I have a PlayStation 4. Can I just take my controller, throw it in my backpack, be waiting at the bus stop and be able to whip out my phone and my controller and start playing Knack, from or is that or do I need to be close enough to my PlayStation 4 to be able to transmit that data? Or I don't know, but I think the idea is cool, and I think technology is headed in a direction that I think is kind of fun. I can't wait to see what they come out with next.
I'm just excited at the prospect that I'm gonna have a game library going back to the PlayStation 1 and be able to play all of those in the PlayStation 4.
Oh yeah,
That has me pretty excited.
yeah. That might actually get me to buy a PlayStation 4 if that were to happen. So, but we'll save that for just a little bit longer because I know that's another topic down here. Um,
You can call it your main topic. I'm gonna talk about it now.
all right, we could talk. You want to talk about it now?
No, I don't. Go ahead and continue with your other topics.
We can do that.
We'll keep some
We're in.
semblance of structure.
If I was smart, I would have actually saved that PlayStation 4 games on a phone to be my last one. But
So you
I'm,
could have a segue of some
yeah,
kind.
it would be
No,
like
of
a
course, make
good
it difficult.
transition. But why would I do that? I'm just gonna go in a completely different
Right,
direction.
confuse people. Confuse people and then piss them off. I mean, that's just how it works.
And so I'm gonna go complete 180 here. Leave video games and go to comic books. And there was another round. A few weeks back, I had talked about Comixology adding DRM-free comics to certain publishers are opting into this
Yeah, I remember
ability
you
that
bringing that up.
if you buy a comic book on Comixology, you could download a CV, a CBR or CBZ format, or even a PDF format file that you get to keep. There has been another round of publishers coming out saying they're going to go with this DRM-free comics as well. Some of the notable ones are IDW, Oni Press, Aspen Comics, Devil's Due Entertainment, and there's a bunch more. Those are just kind of four of them that I read some of their material, so I think that's kind of cool. But
But
the
it's
big
still
thing,
none of the big houses.
still not the big three in the comic book world, which is Marvel, DC, and Dark Horse.
Okay, so let me say this to you. Which one? So DC and Marvel are probably, they're part of bigger companies in a way. Do you think that Dark Horse is going to be the next one to go DRM free, or you don't think they'll ever do it?
Oh, I think all three of them will do it eventually. Um, because much like the music industry, that finally realized that keeping everybody locked down was not really the best way to
Well,
go.
they really. So I don't think that's even accurate. I don't think that I don't think that the music industry was left with a choice. I don't think they ever joined they were basically forced. Like, you know what?
Well,
Everybody's getting their content there. And I think it still has one more step to go. I think direct from artists to
yes,
people, it's
yes,
gonna come.
yeah, yeah, and yes, I agree. I agree that the music industry was forced into the DRM free stuff, and that they needed, you know, they people that were buying music needed access to it on different devices and different things like that. I think Comixology is trying to do the same thing with comic books, and I think if DC and Marvel and Dark Horse to a lesser extent, I think Dark Horse will be the first of those three to switch over. But the big thing right now with DC and Marvel is that they, because they're owned by bigger companies, there is this lack of a better word, lobbyists that want them to keep, that Marvel and DC need to keep the brick and mortar stores around. And if they go to this digital DRM free, model, that it's going to cause people to stop buying comic books at the brick and mortar stores, and those small businesses are going to go out of business, and then there's this big
But
uproar.
I think that you're I think that any company or any store that sells comic books and they call themselves just a comic book store and
Hmm.
it's not diversifying right now and it's not trying to get into
Oh,
something else, and I'm pretty sure that the comic book world as it stands right now, they're not making much money out of comic books anymore. They make more money about from figurines and from
yeah.
other stuff, even t-shirts or whatever. Probably has a better profit margin than even the comics anymore.
Oh, absolutely. No argument there at all. And those stores do need to keep that in mind and be diversifying. But there has been this push ever since this idea of digital comics became available. As soon as this idea that we can sell this stuff with, the color ink that the all these tablets started coming up with, to allow these things to be, or tablets became popular at all. Um, the digital comics, there's always been a pushback against it because they can't, because this idea that they're going to run the small business, the mom and pop comic book stores, out of business. And from the few comic book store owners that I know and that I've talked to, they're not afraid of digital comics. That there are people who buy comic books because they want to collect comic books. You
Right.
cannot collect a digital comic book. You can't go turn around and resell that digital comic book. Right now, there's no market for it. So this, so those stores are still going to be there. Um, but in that same sense, Warner Brothers and now Disney, who, for those that don't know, Warner Brothers owns DC and Disney owns Marvel. And if you don't know that, I don't know where you've been for the last 48 episodes. But
You got some knowledge bombs to drop.
yeah, these, these bigger companies, they kind of have, they don't want the bad publicity that comes with being accused of killing the small business. And so I think that's what's causing these guys to hold off a little bit, because honestly, the moment Marvel goes to selling their stuff DRM free, I will probably be buying, I would buy my comic books from Comixology so that I could download the files that I'm downloading now anyway. And I would be able to then support those guys without always having to go to the brick and mortar store. Um, because I don't buy all my books from the brick and mortar store because I don't want a hard copy of them, but I want a digital copy of them. So, if that makes any sense.
It does. I think you're making a good point. It's just a little convoluted. But that's just how we do things around here.
And that's the way
You know,
I handle everything.
It's, if we just gave you the knowledge without making you work a little bit and maybe rewind what we just said and then scratch your head a little bit, I mean, we wouldn't have a podcast at that point.
That's right. That's right. If I wasn't mixed up and backwards, then nobody would want to listen to
Yeah,
me.
it's just an enigma wrapped in a, what is it, a conundrum or some crap like that.
Yeah. Yeah,
Just,
exactly.
I come up
Exactly.
with, bullshit that just doesn't exist. It's just what it is.
Well, see, here I can at least make a good transition from this one here. We go comic books to comic book movies.
Ooh. Actually, we're going back to it because we talked about comic book movies already. And I'm just going to steal it. Deathpool movie coming out.
Yeah, Deadpool was introduced back in the what was it, Wolverine Origins. It was a terrible movie, absolutely terrible.
Oh my god, I hated it. I hated that.
And the
Oh,
Deadpool
what did they
character
do that?
that was played by Ryan Reynolds was really good at the beginning and then just butchered at the end.
Right,
But
like they took away his mouth and they gave
oh,
him the swords and like
yeah,
so it was like an acid trip.
it was awful. But Fox, and here is a big thing, and this is part of the reason why this date has been set, because what I understand about licensing is once a company has a specific license, like the Deadpool license, to
They
make
need to
movies for,
execute it.
if they don't make a movie or if they don't put it into production, then they lose the license, and it reverts back to the original owner, which would be Marvel. And so February 12th, 2016 is the date of the new Deadpool movie. There's Tim Miller has been announced to direct, and I actually meant to look up to see if he'd done anything, and I didn't do that. I forgot
Did
to
they
do that.
agree? Did they agree on a medium yet? Is it going to be live action or is it going to be animated?
There was nothing on that yet. Much like most announcement stuffs, there's not a whole lot out there.
So
It's
did
only
you look
just been
up about
announced.
did you look up about how it came about? Because this was just something that got leaked. And what was it? Was it like a screen test? Was it a what was it that was actually leaked? I've seen it, but I just don't know the
Well,
context of what it was.
what was? I'm not sure. I'm not sure what preempted the announcement. But this isn't uncommon for them to just say, "Hey, we're making a movie." Um,
But you've seen the thing online, right?
well,
I'll link it.
there's been a lot of stuff online that I've seen. I just don't know how much of it's actually true and how much of it is somebody blowing smoke. Um,
No, I'm
because
talking about there's a clip. It's like a I want to say a good. It's just like 5 minutes. It's a clip of Deathpool, and oh, here there's an actual article from Cinema Blend how the leaked Deathpool footage changed the superhero's fate. So I guess this did have something to do with it because I saw it when it was leaked, and I did not know what it was, but now it seems like I think it's just like Ryan Reynolds talking on it. Let me post it to our Facebook page right
all
now.
right, yeah,
You haven't seen it yet?
I don't think I've seen that one.
What? Ah,
No,
sometimes I'm amazed.
no, I have. If it's Ryan Reynolds just talking about it, then I have, because that actually came from, if what I remember is what you are linking. Um, it's just an interview where Ryan Reynolds is being interviewed for another movie, and then he's
Nope,
asked
it
about
is
the
not.
Deadpool. No?
Nope, it is not. It's actual footage of Deathpool being like you just need to watch it.
Okay, well then I'm gonna have to go watch that. Everybody pause. We'll go watch this, and I'll be right back. No, no, just kidding. Um, this, at least what has come out, is just an announcement that the movie's getting made. Um, you don't know any. We don't know any details other than they've said Tim Miller's directing. I've looked up Tim Miller's background on IMDb, and there's a whole lot of nothing. He hasn't done his last. director thing was 2003, and it was a short film called Rockfish. He doesn't have
Good.
any. Yeah, he does not have a whole lot here to his background. So I don't know how much of this is just here's a guy that we want involved, or this is the guy we're actually going to have directed. There's been no announcement if Ryan Reynolds going to be cast as Deadpool. There's not even been any confirmation on whether or not they're going to keep this shitty origin story that they came up with in that last movie. Um,
No, hopefully they throw all that stuff away and they just start. The thing that I linked, you should watch it, and I think that if they made a whole movie with just something like that, I will watch it because just that little clip is fun. But I don't think we have anything else to talk about today because I'm not going to let you bring up that other subject until we have more people to talk about this.
okay, we'll save. I'll at least hint. CBS new comic book TV show
About a
could
girl.
be about a girl, could be out there. We'll talk more about that next week. So
We will. So let's see. Anything else that you want to bring up before we close this? Because I want to watch the last 2 minutes of the Bears game.
you want to watch the last 2 minutes of the Bears game? No.
Yeah, man.
The only thing that I want to bring up is kind of what we had for the main topic, and that is that the PlayStation Now that Sony has been pushing for a while is the possibility that they're going to get. Right now, they just have PlayStation 3 games on there, but they want to stream PlayStation 4, PlayStation 2, and PlayStation 1 games all through this streaming service, available on, here's the big kicker, any and all Sony products. That does not mean you have to own a PlayStation 4 to be playing these games.
Yep.
The rumor has it that you will be able to get a Sony TV, hook it up to the internet, be able to access PlayStation Now, and be able to play those games straight through the internet on just your TV. All you need is a controller, and you can buy one of those for 30 or 40 bucks. So,
I love my PS4, dude.
boom.
Come over and play it.
Yeah, I'm just saying, if this happens, Sony will then put a stranglehold on the video game market. If this works to the level they keep saying it's going to work.
I don't know, dude. I mean, if they've perfected a phone that can actually play a PS4 game, that's sweet, dude. That means they're back in the phone business.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. It is. It's nuts. I think just this idea is cool, and I am all for it. Like
Well,
I like it.
me too. And you guys don't have to be bored by my voice next week because I will be out of town for the next recording. So you guys get another break from me. So, let us know. Let us know how you like it when I'm not here. So maybe we can make it permanent. The other two guys can fire me.
Well, and we don't have we don't have Kip here. Let us know why we are so terrible without Kip and how much.
I know, exactly. Tell them how much you miss him and love him because this might not even make it to air.
Yeah, we don't know. I actually not even sure what I'm supposed to do after I hit stop broadcasting. So we'll have to figure that one out.
Well, you'll have to figure that one out because I'm going to go watch the last 2 minutes of the Bear.
Yeah.
Check out our blog at geekvice.blogspot.com. Follow us on Twitter at Geekvice, Google plus Geekvice. You can search for us on Facebook, just the word Geekvice, and you'll find our page. Go ahead and click on that Ryan Reynolds footage of Deathpool, and you can follow me on at Lokhtar, and Mr. Morph is completely worthless because he hasn't joined Twitter yet. Send us your love, hate, whatever you want to send us at geekvice@gmail.com, and we will reply if you're nice. Anything else?
No, I got nothing.
All right, that's it. Make sure you save this.
Yeah. Bye, guys.
Bye.